It's been an insane week this week in the NFL. We started out earlier in the week with Joe Flacco going to the Cincinnati Bengals. So what I'm thinking is, okay, you see the Cincinnati Bengals, they have Jake Browning at quarterback. Obviously, things are not working out. So now you got Joe Flacco, who once took the Browns to the playoffs 2 years ago. Is he going to be good enough to make a comeback on the Bengals? The answer to that question is I think not. Only because Joe Flacco is in his in the end of his career. So him on the Bengals, that's like a team. The team's already destroyed. The defense not all that great. They can't find a quarterback. I think this is just desperation for the Bengals. So what I see in it is just like a little potential bust. Joe Flacco, he's gonna win a few games, but I don't think he's gonna see the playoffs. If they see the playoffs, it won't even be that far. So uh the Bengals, I'm not surprised they would do that. I honestly thought that they was gonna go get Shedeur Sanders, but obviously no one's trying to touch him right now. He just got moved to second string on the Browns. I think Shedeur Sanders might get his opportunity this upcoming season. Only because Dylan Gabriel, he is walking the fine line right now. He had a good game against the Vikings, but he has to keep doing that and stay consistent. Another thing I think the Browns can do is probably bring in another quarterback, but if they do that'll just flat out say, okay, well, we just don't want to deal with Shador anymore. But I feel like they will give him a chance later on in the season. So Shador Sanders do have an opportunity to play on the Cleveland Browns, if not on some other team before the trade deadline. That's pretty much what I got for Shador Sanders. But Joe Flacco to the Bengals, that's a move that was made. I got mixed feelings about it. I just feel like it might go the wrong way because Joe Flacco, I mean, he's in his years, and there's not much he can do really. But we're gonna move on from that, and we're gonna go to LeBron's decision. So LeBron said that he was gonna air his decision part two yesterday at 11 o'clock p.m. My fault. Honestly, man, I was ready to look at it. That was the most anticipated thing I woke up for that day because I'm just trying to see whether or not he's gonna retire. Now, LeBron is not my GOAT. Jordan is my GOAT. But that decision, I was looking forward to it, like I said. But it ended up being an advertisement for Hennessy. He didn't announce he was retiring or staying. He just announced that he was teaming up with a Hennessy brand. And a lot of people were puzzled. I was misled. I thought that he was actually going to say something. But advertising Hennessy is one of the craziest things I've seen this week. You had everyone hyped up to advertise liquor. But I really want to know, is it really over for Brian? I think he's hinting at it a couple times while he was in LA. He won a championship in 2020, but aside from that, he hasn't saw much success. You got Luka in the trade, but still you got knocked out in the first round by the Minnesota Timberwolves. So in my eyes, I think it is over for LeBron. I know he's still trying to chase the great Michael Jordan, but it's not going to happen. So if he retires, he will be known as having one of the greatest careers of all time. But yeah, I think it's time to hang it up for Brian, like for real. I really think it is. Now, I want to talk about my team, the Dallas Cowboys. Dak Prescott has been balling out, throwing the ball around. No matter what receivers on the field, he's getting the job done. And on Sunday, he played the New York Jets, and he continued to do that. He had 237 passing yards without an injured CD Lamb, who's out with an ankle. And now, right now, he's ranked second in passing. Now, I feel like Dak honestly doesn't get the credit he deserves because of maybe his playoff record or things like that. Dak is a really good quarterback. Like Dak Prescott, he's a good quarterback, but there's other things around him that needs to get fixed. And that other factor is the Cowboys defense. The Cowboys defense last in the NFL. They allowed 40 points twice, and it's just no solution for this defense. Like, that's the reason why Dak Prescott doesn't look as good as we say he is, because sometimes his defense, caused him to lose games, and it in the record we get like what 3-2. So Dak is not getting enough credit. So, but I believe Dak Prescott is an MVP caliber quarterback. And I feel like he's better right now than Jalen Hurts. I feel like he's better than Jared Goff. I feel like he's better than J.D. McCarthy, Carson Wentz, any NFC quarterback. I feel like he's the best quarterback in the NFC. And I think at some point, the Cowboys can turn things around, maybe in the next 2 or 3 years, and they could get out the NFC and make it to a Super Bowl. I mean, I'm not saying that because I'm a Cowboys fan. I feel like it can be possible. So for the Panthers matchup this Sunday, I mean, I'm expecting the same game out of Dak, if not even better. He's just using what he has, and he's doing a very good job. He had Flanoy. He had a great game, over 100 yards, 6 receptions. And then you had George Pickens, who stepped in at times, and he had a touchdown when he was matched up with Sauce Gardner. So Dak Prescott will strike again. My only concern is the Cowboys' defense. If the defense comes to play just a little bit, they'll win against the Panthers. The Panthers are a 2-3 team. The Cowboys are going to beat up the Panthers. Now, one thing I really want to talk about is Jerry Jones, man. Jerry Jones can't stay out of the headlines. I know after the Jets game, he was seen flipping off fans. Jerry Jones flipped off fans, gave him the finger. He just said that he was intending to do a thumbs up, but if you ask me, that middle finger looked kind of intentional. Jerry been getting a lot of hate the past 30 years. So it's a lot of fans really hate him. And it starts with the Cowboy fans. I think the other 31 teams love him more than his own fan base because of what he's done with the Cowboys to kind of, not really destroy the franchise, but put it in bad shape. And other teams just had a chance to take advantage of that. So Jerry Jones, man, with that being said, he was fined $250,000 for doing that stuff. I feel like if I say anything, I mean, it's not going to get to Jerry. Jerry is going to do whatever he wants at this point. I don't know why Cowboy fans really sit there and say, oh, Jerry can do this and that, but he's not going to listen. Jerry's going to listen to himself, and he's going to do what he feels best. Speaking of fines, Cardinals head Coach Jonathan Gannon was fined for a sideline outburst. He yelled at running back Amari DeMercado for fumbling in the end zone. So DeMercado, what he did was, if y'all don't know, I'll show the clip here. He was running to the end zone, and he let the ball go before he crossed the line. So he went to the sideline, and then Jonathan Gannon just, did what coaches do, and he yelled at him. But some people think that he may have went a little too far, and he started hitting on him and all that stuff. Honestly, as a football player, it's gonna happen. Coach is gonna get really mad, especially with something like that where you fumbling the ball and didn't even finish the run and you just let go of the ball. Yeah, people are gonna get mad. Was it right to fine the coach for that? I don't think so. He was just telling him straight up, like, dude, hold on to the ball, finish through when you run a touchdown, and that's the main thing you got to do. So, as a result, Gannon was fined $100,000, and now, I mean, I know he's gonna pay the fine, but coach is now gonna have to be watching out on how they talk to players. But I feel like it was just meant to be. Like, you fumbling the ball like that just can't happen. Thursday Night Football is coming up tomorrow. Eagles versus Giants. Honestly, the Eagles for the past few weeks have been disappointing. They were upset by the Denver Broncos, and it looks like their offense is really struggling. Like, their offense is struggling. Last year, they had Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore was a very good offensive coordinator, and that's how they made it all the way to the Super Bowl and beat the Kansas City Chiefs, because the offense, you saw a 2,000-yard rusher in Saquon Barkley, a 1,000-yard receiver in A.J. Brown, and the offense had a lot of diversity along with a very good defense. This year, Kellen Moore took a job with the Saints as a head coach, and now you got Kevin Patullo. The offense, the entire offense, is not on the same page. Jalen Hurts is not from what I hear, making his reads and throwing to the right people. A.J. Brown's frustrated. Devontae Smith is frustrated. And Saquon Barkley is not the 2,000-yard rusher that we saw last year. So it builds up the frustration on the team, and now is leading to losses, like a lot of losses. So for Thursday night, they are playing division rival Giants. The Giants have Jackson Dart making, I think, his third start at quarterback. So it will be a close game, but I feel like the Eagles are going to win that one just by a hair, maybe by a field goal or something. But it won't be the type of beatdown that we normally see out of an average Eagles team in the 2020s. So yeah, man, this is the end of this podcast. Thank y'all so much for watching. Make sure you like and subscribe for more content like this, and stay tuned. And I hope everyone have a great rest of their day. And with that being said, I'm out. Peace.